It's the SEC. You can recruit kids to Auburn better than you can Wisconsin. Like who? Like if Wisconsin is out recruiting you in the SEC, your ass don't need to be coaching.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my tag team partner. Dark Side of the Ring is coming back for a new season, and one of the episodes is on the Beast from the East. So he is my Bam Bam Bigelow to my Shane Douglas and ECW as a part of the Triple Threat, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, one, have you ever seen Dark Side of the Ring?
No, I have not. Never seen
Man,
it.
4 seasons, great episodes. One of the episodes got everybody in trouble, but I digress. But this season, they're doing one on one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, Magnum TA, and that is must-see TV for
Magnum
me.
TA.
I got to meet Magnum when I went to the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Convention. He signed the U.S. belt. Nikita signed that belt. Luger signed that belt. I think Tully might have even signed that belt too. I'm not sure. But looking forward to seeing the Magnum TA1, that auto accident in October of 1986. It is fresh in my mind. I still remember it. So anyway, on this Throwdown Thursday edition, we're going to talk about some college football thoughts. Thanks to our friends at CBS Sports for the segment idea. We're going to give you some Power 5 conference notes. The ACC flexed its very little muscle. And Mike, they're talking about having a clearinghouse for NIL. I want to get your comments on that in segment 3. But first, student athlete making those transitions and next steps. So former UCF and Florida State quarterback Mackenzie Milton, who had that horrible leg injury, battled his way back, took his first steps toward a coaching career last week, getting hired as an offensive analyst for the University of Tennessee, reuniting with Coach Josh Heupel, as well as former AD at UCF, Danny White. So he's got his degrees, and now he's getting into coaching full time. Tell us what an analyst does, Mike. Tell us what that position is.
Just looking at the offense, looking at what the plan is going to be, just analyzing how you're putting it in. Also analyze it's another set of eyes to look and see if it's feasible for the program, if it's something you really want to try, something maybe we should try differently, if it's something you're just giving ideas and opening up what you say, especially if he's good with the offense. That analyst will come in. I'd love to analyze transition basketball if I could. Like I would love to get paid to come to people's practice, watch their films, and say, "Hey, maybe you ought to try this." Like that's what I'm hoping is more of a consultant role.
Yes, and we'll be spending some time with that this summer. Once his playing career ended, Milton moved back to Orlando, Florida, spent the last year coaching camps and clinics, working on NIL opportunities with UCF, but he knew he wanted to coach. And though he will not have an on-field role this year, he plans to learn as much as he can about all position groups and special teams as well. And that kind of takes us back to a conversation we had this time last year with our good friend Nima Overvard, who, just like us, worked camps and clinics and this and that, and just around a lot of things. So this young scholar is off to a good start, and we wish him well. And anyone, please take advantage of all of the opportunities and relationships. But Mike, CBS Sports did a poll and had a little article on 2023 coaching hire superlatives. I kind of want to get your thoughts on it. So most popular coach, no surprise to me, Deion Sanders. Any surprise to you?
Not a bit.
Okay. The most attractive job, the most attractive coach, it's Matt Rule at Nebraska because he's got the Carolina money in his pocket. Cost of living in Nebraska is not that good. Not that high. And he's got some opportunities, and he's already bringing in some better players. Agree or disagree with that, sir?
How do you define most attractive? I don't.
I don't
I
know
would think
how they
Deion.
define that. I
I
did
thought
not know.
Deion would do that too. You know what I mean?
That's CBS Sports. So
Mhm.
most likely to win big early, Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. I can kind of see that. I can kind
I
of see
can't.
that.
I can't. I would think most likely to win early be the next guy that we have for the next category.
Interesting. Most likely to win big later, Hugh Freeze at Auburn.
Hmm.
Man, you still got to have that talent.
I
And
think he
they're
went big early because it's Auburn. I mean, it's the SEC. You can recruit kids to Auburn better than you can Wisconsin. Like who? Like if Wisconsin is out recruiting you in the SEC, your ass don't need to be coaching. I don't care what your name is. I don't care if it's you Freeze, if it's you Burn. I don't care what it is. You in Auburn. This the land of football, and you can't recruit better than Wisconsin or Nebraska or even Dion. I mean, it's
Oh, they were 1-11.
it's
Man.
the SEC,
So
man.
let's remind you, Colorado people, that they were 1-11. Let's slow down our expectations. All right, future Power Five hires J.B. Chadwell at Liberty via Coastal Carolina. He was just a Coastal, and Tom Herman at FAU. I think last week or maybe the week before we talked about him getting a quote big time quarterback. From Nebraska, maybe, I think. I'm not sure. Toughest rebuild is Troy Taylor at Stanford. I could see that. It's hard to get to Stanford, man. You don't sneak into Stanford. Longest leash is Jeff Brom at Louisville. It's the ACC. It's Louisville.
I would think again. That's Troy Taylor would probably have the longest leash to me, but again, we get that job when it's completely messed up. Those are jobs we get when it can't get no worse.
And the shortest leash is Zach Arnett replacing the Pirate himself at Mississippi State, Mike Leach. And Brent Key at Georgia Tech's got a short leash. It's Georgia Tech.
Really? Like,
it's Georgia Tech.
come on. Yeah, they're going to win late. They're going to win late. And Mississippi State, I'm not even tripping.
Well, with the SEC moving away from the East and West soon, same thing with the Big Ten. Yeah, it's going to be crazy next season. So just try not to mess it up this year and get your money. All right.
It's going to be lawlessness.
So CBS Sports also talked about portal winners. And of course, they had Colorado as a portal winner. And Dion's other son, Shador's coming too. All right. Auburn has been all over the portal. They're winners. Florida State, man, the
but
ACC
they're going to be late to win.
Hey, I just that's them.
Come on.
Florida State again has been in the portal. LSU and USC. USC, man, y'all better do something in the Pac-12 this year, because when you get to the Big Ten, and I can't wait to see who they're going to play, that's going to be tough. But yeah, this is interesting.
They will not have a winning season in the SEC. Mark it, time stamp it. They will not have a winning record in conference for the first 3 years.
What, USC in the Big Ten?
Yes. They will not have a winning record in conference. They will not have a successful conference record for the first 3 years.
Wow. So we are less than 100 days from week 0, fans. We are less than 100 days from week 0. Don't start with the week 0 thing, Mike. But starting this week, I'm going to start developing and creating our college football summer preview. Jake, I'm calling you. So stay tuned to see how we do this on No Budget Productions. And when we get back in segment 2, we're going to talk some Power 5 conference notes. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student-athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fowler and Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back, fans. In segment 2, we're talking between segments about how the Big 12 is going to screw Texas and Oklahoma with all kinds of bad calls and strange things happening. But anyway, in segment 2, I got to share this with my partner because there's a difference in the SEC and everybody else. So the University of Georgia has rewarded athletic director Josh Brooks with a contract extension that locks him into 2029. The Athletic Association Board also announced plans for a new track and field facility that will free up space for 2 more football practice fields. Brooks' new contract will increase his salary to $1.025 million a year with annual raises of $100,000. This guy's 42 and locked into Georgia. He ain't going nowhere. The Georgia board approved a fiscal budget of, wait for it, fans, $175.2 million for Georgia athletics. That's an 8% increase. The current track stadium is located adjacent from the athletic facility where the practice fields and training facilities of football are. Georgia lost a chunk of its outdoor fields when it built its new indoor practice facility. And after the new track and field stadium is completed, the current space will be converted to 2 full-length grass practice fields at the request of Kirby Smart. So, Mike, that's the dollar amount Georgia is rolling with. And the ACC had record revenue last year at 30-something million. What are your thoughts on Georgia helping out the track program?
Hey, take money to make money.
Wow.
That's all it is, baby. Take money to make money. You're going to invest in what brings the money the most. Like, the attention, the money, and it benefits the other programs and other sports teams. So, yeah, I think it's a good investment.
All right. So let's talk about Colorado, both on the field and off the field. There's a high demand for seats to watch Colorado football until game 1. So the ticket prices have went up. The Buffaloes sold over 11,000 single game tickets Wednesday, the largest one-day total for individual games in team history. The school has already sold out its full season ticket allotment. Deion has brought excitement there. The demand has been through the roof. Even the spring game in snowy and cold conditions sold out. Colorado opens up the season on the road against TCU. Are they beating TCU, Mike?
No.
They're going to host Colorado State. That's a chance to win.
Yes.
They're going to host USC September 30th in Colorado. That's a L. They're going to host Stanford. Now, see, there's your 2 wins right there.
Yep.
We beat last season.
Yep.
Leave me alone. And
We
then
beat Colorado State, we beat Stanford. Right.
Oregon State is homecoming. You got a shot there. So that's 3 wins. And Arizona.
Coin toss.
So you might get 4 wins, baby. You might get 4 wins. So on the field, they're making money. They're selling tickets. But let's talk about off the field. Okay. Colorado Athletic Director Rick George addressed the status of the school as a member of the Pac-12 conference amid rumors that the Big 12 is calling. With the conference currently embroiled in media negotiations that we talked about on Tuesday in the NFL show, there is money out there, but it appears, Mike, and nobody wants to give money to the Pac-12. So we're members of the Pac-12. We're proud members of the Pac-12. In a perfect world, we love to be in the Pac-12, but we also have to do what's right for Colorado at the end of the day. We'll evaluate things as we move forward. Mike, Pac-12 is in the final season of its current form before USC and UCLA departs for the Big Ten. The conference is the lone Power 5 league without a TV deal. And in March, sources told CBS that the Big 12 will be ready to add Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State, should they be interested in coming. Mike, any thoughts on Colorado off the field? That's real talk right there, buddy.
Big money, big money, big money. But I think I hold on. If I'm Colorado, I get a bigger piece of the pie if I hold steadfast and stay with the Big 12 or stay with the Pac-12. I think everybody else running. I don't need to follow all of them, especially if I'm not ready to compete with them. It's going to be tough being in the Big 12, trying to get through that. I would stay in the Pac-12 because now you the big brother.
Yes.
The little brother, the oldest one in the family, the big brother, he done gone off to college and moved out the house. Now you in charge of the house. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. If I'm Colorado, I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I got a new coach. It's going to take me a couple years to turn it around. Year 3, we'll probably see the first winning season. So, yeah. And at that point, I'm entrenched in that new TV deal. And then I'm building new practice facilities.
Yeah, I'm going to be Jerry Lawler, and I'm going to stay in Memphis. I don't need to go anywhere else. Give me some Fresno State coming in or whoever else they bring in, and I'll say I'll take it. All right, so Mike, I have said a lot of things.
I'm a sellout.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a sellout. I'm gonna just take care of me, and I'll take a little less to be the big fish in little pond with the college football playoff expanded. You don't need to beat me up every week. I don't need that.
Get me ranked in the top 20 because I'm having a winning season. I'll stay ranked. I'll stay relevant. I'll keep that money coming in. I'll take that.
All right. So, Mike, I have talked about Iowa football over the years, the slowest, fastest team in the history of the world. So Iowa announced last week that its athletic director, Gary Barta, will retire. Barta has served in that role since 2006. He has been all over the college football landscape. While the Hawkeyes have remained mostly stable in their tenure in terms of coaching, there have been some issues. Okay. The school announced earlier this month that it's been alerted by the NCAA of potential violations with the department in terms of sports wagering regarding 26 athletes. Earlier this year, the school and the athletic department settled a $4 million lawsuit against from 12 former football players alleging racial discrimination. You also have Caitlin Clark making you money right now, and Kirk Ferentz has been on the job a long time, and he is entering his 25th season as coach. So are you renting a house if you're Kirk Ferentz? Are you kind of winding down, or are you hoping that the new AD comes in and is a part of? That's going to be hard if you Iowa with all these people coming into the Big Ten and you are just trudging along, and they're removing the divisions. What do you think, man?
First of all, Kirk Ferentz should have been gone, but I mean, he getting over $400,000 a month for the duration of his contract, the way it's set up right now. All right, that's what I read. So he's making
can't be too far off.
No, $5 million a year, right? So at year 25, shit, he could have bought a couple more houses. We ain't talk about that. Like, he's been there too long for me, if you ask me. But he's also, I mean, the issues with the racial discrimination, that hasn't changed. So the only thing that hasn't changed also is the head coach. So is it cultural? Is it created that way? Like, who's making those things happen?
All right. So let's update the ACC. The ACC, after we talked about them last week, has announced an amended revenue model that will reward high-achieving programs with additional monetary gains in an attempt to catch the ballooning conference distribution in the Big Ten and SEC in upcoming years. Plans for the new model, which is set to start in the 24-25 academic year, haven't been finalized, but the quote success initiatives are expected to reward schools with postseason success with a far greater piece of the distribution pie. For the 2022-2023 season, a school earned $6 million for the conference and the college football playoffs. But now with the playoffs expanding, more money will be coming into play. Base television revenue and other ACC distributions remained unchanged. The ACC's long-term television contract with ESPN included distribution on the ACC network is expected to clear $30 million next season, Mike, setting a high floor for the 14 ACC schools. However, it still ranks fourth in conference distribution, trailing the SEC, Big Ten, and Big 12. An ACC league source told CBS Sports that it might cost as much as $500 million to exit the league. So you can see how quickly the minds of the leaders changed from Florida State, the other 6 schools. So the issue now is not the SEC and Big Ten being ahead of everyone. It's the gap between everybody else. So, Mike, what are you thinking about if you're the ACC, my friend?
So all this time they were so proud and they hated Calipari and they hated all them guys who had play for pay, right? And now so what's the difference? What's the difference? So the better I am, the more money we get.
The more you win in the postseason,
yeah, but
the more of the revenue.
Pay for play, right?
Well, the players aren't getting the money, the schools are.
But who?
Which will hopefully trickle back down to the players.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So come on, man, stop it. But it's about the free education. They're getting the free education. They shouldn't complain. That's what it's all about.
All right.
Applesauce.
Applesauce. Alfalfa, applesauce. So with that, when we come back, a possible clearinghouse for NIL deals. I don't know if my partner's going to like that. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete, academic, and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student-athletes. As student-athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student-athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 3. Before we talk about a clearinghouse for NIL, we got a new name, Mike. I don't know if this came across your desk, but ladies and gentlemen, the Revolutionaries. George Washington University sports team will now be known as the Revolutionaries, the school announced last week. The Revolutionaries replaces Colonials, which has been GW's name since 1926. Officials made the decision last year to drop the old name after determining it no longer fit the unified community. GW said 8,000 different names were suggested. 47,000 points of feedback were made during the 12-month process, and Revolutionaries won out over such final choices as the Ambassadors, the Blue Fog, and the Sentinels. George will stay as the mascot. The new logo will be developed for the Revolutionaries. But Mike, before I get your overall thoughts, Niece Jasmine, our NBA correspondent and GW alum, said she did not like the Revolutionaries name. She wanted one of the 3 picks. Let's just have some fun for a quick second. Do you think she wanted Ambassadors, Blue Fog, or Sentinels?
She wanted Sentinels.
She wanted Blue Fog, man. These are the newfangled kids. I don't even know what it was, but she wanted Blue Fog. Well, hey,
Blue Fog.
It's different. I'm sorry, the line was, if Alabama can have an elephant and be a tide, why can't we be a blue frog? So anyway, we love these Jasmine, and now let's move on to
Because
one
you
of
don't
bet.
win like Alabama.
Anyway, good luck to the revolutionaries. What a bet. The NCAA, as it continues to adjust to the evolving sports gambling landscape, released survey results last week that indicated, shocking, sports betting is prevalent among young adults, especially on
Wow.
college campuses and with minority communities. So, Mike, here's some key findings. 58% of the respondents that participated said they have bet on at least one sports activity, and the NCAA includes fantasy sports. 67% of students living on campus are bettors and tend to bet at a higher frequency, with 41% of the students having bet or wagered on the school's team. 35% have used a student bookmaker. This is not my survey, fans. The NCAA. 68% of Black or African American respondents engaged in betting activities, the highest among the other demographics, the other races, Hispanic and Latino, 63%, Asian, 55%, and white or Caucasian at 54%. Additional information. The survey was commissioned by NCAA President Charlie Baker to establish a baseline of sports betting activity data in the new gambling landscape. The survey also found nearly the same rate of engagement in betting with states that have legal markets. The survey also found that $10 to $20 was the most common amount risked per bet, strictly for entertainment purposes only, I'm sure. So, Mike, before we get to Congress getting involved in NIL, what do you think about these survey results?
That survey is to better find information on how they can attack the betting companies and get money out of it. They don't want money go nowhere else. That's what the NCAA is all about. And it's no shocker that they're just the ones realizing, oh, kids are betting. Wow. Ooh. Welcome to the party, NCAA. Late as usual. You know.
All right. So, Mike, do you really want Congress involved? A discussion draft of a bill that would establish a federal regulatory NIL body was revealed last week by Representative Gus Bilrakis, a Republican from Florida. The Fairness, Accountability, and Integrity in Representation of College Sports Act.
Wow, Florida.
Fair College Sports Act. See, get it? Fairness, accountability, and integrity and representation. Fair. Got to have an acronym. Would preempt all existing and future state NIL laws, a limitation currently being sought for Congress to address these issues by the NCAA. So the NCAA is reaching out to Congress for help.
Crooks meeting crooks.
Bilrakis is a member of the House of Representatives Energy and Commerce Committee, and in that role, he is the chairman of the subcommittee on Innovation, Data, and Commerce, which has already conducted 2 NIL hearings. A discussion draft is considered the next public step. So beyond creating a federal regulatory body to address NIL, the suggested legislation would protect athletes' right to earn NIL compensation and sign with agents, ban pay for play by prohibiting boosters, collectives, and other third parties from offering inducements to attend or transfer, and require registration within 30 days for agents, boosters, and collectives when NIL deals are signed. Legislation would not address health and medical benefits for athletes as contained in other proposed congressional bills, nor would it address athletes potentially being employees, nor establishing liability protections for schools or the NCAA itself. House sources say protections would be out of the jurisdiction at the moment. And remember, NCAA President Charlie Baker has been seeking protections to control NIL. And if the regulatory body was established, it would be named the U.S. Intercollegiate Athletics Commission, the USIAC, and it will be charged with overseeing NIL, including setting rules, enforcing those rules, providing guidelines to student athletes, and collectives. In other words, it will be basically a clearinghouse for NIL deals. Mike, you have the floor, sir. Giving you the context. Is Congress needed to deal with this?
No. This ain't got nothing to do with Congress. This ain't got nothing to do with the student athletes. You just said it. It ain't going to talk about their safety. It doesn't talk about their guarantees. This is because the NCAA wants to know who is giving the kids money. How do they get a piece? How do they control it? That's what it comes down to. To have your stuff filed in 30 days, to go through a clearinghouse, which means there's going to be a fee for that. So the NCAA is going to make money. You're going to have to be certified by them. You're going to have to watch some videos and answer some questions after the videos. But you're going to have to pay $39.99 or whatever the price is in order for you to be a part of it. And
I think it'll be higher than that.
And then they're going to charge the student athlete to be able to. Now you got that clearinghouse that student athletes have to go through. And all it does, and then they set rules. What's the rules going to be? Okay, this company can't, but this company can. So now, if you sweeten the pot and give us a little more money on this end, then we'll let you be approved to be in it. So it's just the way for them to corral the money. They're trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
All right. So I have mixed feelings. I don't mind standardization, but I don't think Congress has to do standardization.
No.
Congress has nothing to do with the eligibility center. So if you're able to create an eligibility center where every single student athlete from every single school has registered, paid a fee, we have gone through your GPA, your transcripts, and so forth, why do we need additional help to just say, okay?
Because they're making money.
Okay. So I do not mind standardization, but you don't kill a fly with a bazooka.
And the NCAA don't mind students making money. They just don't mind certain students making the money because it gives too much power and control.
Yes, and you saw
that.
Yes, and you saw in the previous segment how much Georgia has put into its athletic department. So somebody's got some money somewhere. All right, finally, fans, the NBA draft is in a few weeks. Players are opting to return to college. Congratulations for waking up, some of you. We are also a few weeks from the evaluation period for high school basketball players. So we got that going on. We are also nearing the end of the school year for high school student athletes, and college student athletes are finishing up as we speak. So it's an exciting time for the OCP. And we'll be here with thoughts and opinions and advice to get you through the summer, as well as getting our previews ready for our fall college football previews. So keep looking for great content. We have reached over 100 subscribers. Thanks. Let's keep these numbers up. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the iCoaches podcast. And we will see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The iCoaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The iCoaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the iCoaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the iCoaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at oddcoaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.